Hmm. Hmm. Hmm? Where's his neck? Why is she kissing the bag? What the? Hello, my fellow dehydrated typewriter ribbons. I'm Mr. Church, and today we're going to be building right here near Pleasant Hills Cemetery. Uncanny Caverns is over there. I saw this billboard, so I thought I would make a house around it. Doesn't that make logical sense to you? So the first thing I want to do is get a foundation in here so we can figure out where the flooring is going to be. And for some reason, I was having a hard time getting a foundation down, and I thought, well, that's pretty suspicious. And then, so I tried harder. And then I realized there was a little tire down here that spawns in, and it keeps you from being able to place this close to the billboard. It's right here. I tried shooting it out of the way, and that didn't work, so I just realized I could just walk into it and kick it. So you're going to want to move that, and then you're going to be able to put your foundation down. If, on the off chance, you go to get rid of the tire, and you look down at the ground, and you see that it's blinking in and out of existence, like Tyler Durden, well, I'll show you how to get rid of it then too. So I saw this happening, and I thought, well, let's build under the map so I can see what's going on. And we need to go under the map anyway for later on, so let's go ahead and build the thing to get under there now. And I can show you how to get rid of it, the tire, if it's doing this, because it did this multiple times in different instances. And you're going to need to get rid of that tire before you can place a foundation here. So, yeah, that's pretty weird. Let's go into the map. If you're new to the channel, I use this quite a lot. This is a little thing that I first saw Still You Sweet Roll doing. May he rest in peace. He's not dead, by the way. He just, I guess he's been playing Elden Ring. One thing about Elden Ring that I've noticed is they have like a developer team, like people that actually like work on the game and stuff, which I thought was pretty cool. Like if there's bugs, they fix it instead of just quitting and giving up, and canceling like events, like seasonal events and stuff. So I saw that the tire was infinitely falling through the world, which is comical but annoying in this case because we can't build there if it's doing that. So I tried to wedge a foundation up against that, try to shove that tire into place to keep it, like, try to get it stuck above the ground so it'd stop falling. What's happening is when anything drops down into the map, it lands above where it fell, but the tire isn't going all the way to the top. It's sinking into the ground enough to fall again. So we just want to wedge it so it'll get stuck on top of the map like this, and then you're going to be able to push it out of the way like we did. And you should be able to just walk into it and it'll move, and then you'll be able to build there. When you switch servers, the tire will spawn in again there. So anytime you switch servers, if you want to move that initial foundation, you're going to have to move it, find that tire, and push the tire out of the way again. It's really annoying. Just keep that in mind while you're working here. Now what we're doing is I'm building 2 ramps down so that I can keep these foundations in line with our initial foundation, but will be exactly 1 floor lower. I want to build some of the floor as an upper floor, and so this is how we're going to do that. We're going to have our entrance somewhere over here, and we'll be able to get in with a staircase. Let me consolidate this mess a little bit. Yeah, so what we're going to do is we're just going to build a staircase going over that way. And upper floors will be used for a lot of the floor, and that way the build will be into the in the hillside a little bit, but also on top of it. Line your lines up with that foundation, and without rotating it, move it over to here. That way when you get back over to the foundation, your floor pieces will line up, and no matter what floor you decide to use later, everything will be completely oriented the way you need it to be. If it has a repeating pattern on it, it won't be all messed up. So I do this zigzag here, and I realize I want to put a foundation here, and obviously I couldn't just put that in first because I'm an idiot. So I took these ramps, and then I'm just going to walk these over this way. You don't have to do this. You can just attach a foundation to that staircase, snap over, and then put in the upper floors, you know, intelligently. This will give us a little bit of, you know, some support for our structure from a couple angles. Now, I've always liked this door because it's powered, it's cool, but you can't put wallpaper on it, you know, because wallpaper's only been in the game for 3 years, so they haven't had time to add wallpaper functionality to the powered doors. But maybe we can like work around that just because we need to have it. So what I'm going to do is make this temporary floor off this way, and I move the stair over temporarily. It needs to be there for support, but we can move it back later. Now, the powered door, you need a switch or a pressure plate to activate it, but those things are ugly as fuck, and that's another reason why people don't like using them in their nice houses. But maybe we can just shove it underneath the floor where no one can see it, and walking above it will still activate it. So we're using one pressure plate to sink the pressure plate on the other one below this carpet. And you're going to make it so that it's sunk enough so that when it's not depressed, it will not be showing through the carpet. As long as this upper floor is a mesh floor, you will be able to place that down and it'll go in just fine. If you want to use this method on a foundation, you can just use the sinking drop merge, which I've shown in other videos. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have this powered wall recessed a little bit. This will allow us to add our, we're going to shove a wall in front of that to put a wallpaper on, and having it recessed will kind of hide the fact that we've done that. Now I'm testing it. You can hear the floor pressure plate going off when I step on it. We're going to go ahead and wire that up now. And just to make sure it works, I think I'm also going to wire it up to a generator below. I'm just throwing this here for now. You can move this generator later. Just make sure you change the floor to a mesh floor and it'll move around. So let's test it. Everything works perfectly. So the generator goes to the pressure plate and the pressure plate goes to the door. Activating the pressure plate allows the power to flow through the pressure plate to the door. It's pretty simple. In this way, you can use it, you know, one pressure plate for in and out. No one sees it. And it's very clean. Just make sure you don't move that carpet or delete it because the pressure plate's technically sitting on the carpet. So that'll delete the pressure plate. And you can use a different floor mat if you want. That's just the one I used. And so for this next part, you're going to need a blueprint of this wall, which I cleverly named wall in my blueprints section. If you don't know how to make this, it's simply a doorway. You can use any wall, but we're going to use a doorway so we can see the other door through the doorway of it. And catwalk and 2 half posts with a little carpet touching the bottom post. I didn't come up with this. I've seen it around. I don't know who came up with it, to be honest. But it's very useful for placing down walls anywhere you want. It'll just free place that wall down. And we're going to use that to kind of line it up with that one. And you're just going to push it as close to that as you can get and try to get it as even as you can. Once you place it down, you can delete the catwalks, then the posts, and then we can repair all these walls. And what you'll see is we have a nice little, let's put a wallpapered, powered door. And obviously we're going to change like the wallpaper and the walls later on. You can add a stair back to this side, which will then allow you to delete the temporary stair we put in. And now we have our, structurally, the front door is ready, done, and it functions. It's really nice. And it's, I don't know. I guess I thought it was cool, and I just screamed really loud, and I'm sorry. Now we're going to make something underneath the map here. So I want to get an upper floor underneath the map, because we're going to have something that's sitting on it later. So we're going to go down 2 stairs. You can't really see it very well because of that rock that's under the ground. But I'm going to try to get over to this stair that I placed down. Just if you have a jetpack, building is a lot easier in this game. If you don't have a jetpack and you're trying to build, well, you must be a sadist. But that's okay. We love sadists, don't we? Well, we have to, or we won't love ourselves while we're playing this game. So let's just go all the way over this way till we're about a full floor on this side of the billboard, and use a full-sized catwalk coming this way. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a floating staircase right here. It's completely hidden in the ground, and we're going to attach those upper floors off that staircase. Those are not going to be visible from above ground, but let's just make sure the pattern is lined up the way it needs to be. Those aren't going to be visible above ground, but they will allow us to set stuff on them, which is the best way of getting everything sunken down into the ground in such a shitty terrain. That stuff is all just stuck there. If you need to get rid of it, just link those up with an upper floor and delete backwards to it and start over. It's fine. But now we have our upper floor in there for later. We'll be able to just throw this wall on there, for example. And I'm just going to put a half floor here, and we're going to expand out this way. We'll get back to the thing we put under the map later. For now, I need to ADHD this part of the build really quick, because like that's really important to do. Whoops. Let's do some glass walls going up. Again, recessed. This one is recessed by a half a floor, and then the front door is recessed by a quarter of a floor, just to kind of have some variation in there. And then I fell, and then I jumped around like a buffoon. Now, I wish I had put the roof of that on before I put those half walls above the powered door, but that's simple enough, simple to solve. You can either burn that shit on the bottom and delete the half wall, put the upper floor in, or you can do what I do later. I'll show you that. To double wall a half wall, burn the fuck out of one of them, and then you can place a half wall on the other side. I apologize if this is too fast. It ended up being a longer video than I wanted because there was a lot of like technical shit that I did that I wanted to show. I didn't even show everything because I was told not to that last time. They were like, "Excuse me, sir, do you want to get arrested?" And I said, "Wow." And so I've been trying to refrain from showing just everything, but I wanted to show the vital parts of the build at least. For this weird roof time, you have to burn this one, then we can merge 2 roofs together, fix it, flatten it, and then you've got a roof and a half sized roof. For this, we're going to burn those so that we can finish double walling this half wall part, and that's fine. Again, you can slow this down or watch things over. I didn't want to rush it, but I'm aware that this video ended up being a lot longer than I wanted it to be, and I realized that we all have lives, and like if you're watching like a 4-hour video, what time is left for you to go play Invaders from Beyond, our favorite summer seasonal event, where Graham goes and stands on the hill by Vault 76 and leaves his cow behind, and then gives us a bunch of tato salad and meat cleavers for doing that over and over, and then he magically disappears somehow because the so what I'm doing here is I'm recessing temporarily a half wall into this area using a catwalk. This is for measuring later. That half wall is going away, but I'm just going to throw this in for right now, and I'll show you. I have a blueprint that we're going to shove up against that. But to get this one, you might need to go under the map, which is fine. We love doing that. So let's get under here. And that's good. Let's put some falling off that. And now we can get rid of the catwalks. And there you go. Now what we're going to do is take a blueprint of 4 shelves. And what you do is you place a shelf down and just keep placing it down without moving any of your controls, and they'll snap, they'll stack exactly on top of each other. Just blueprint that, or you can just place them. It's not a big deal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop merge this until it fits in there, because it's slightly too tall. So I'm just going to measure it each time, because I don't want to go too low with it, and then there'll be gaps in there. I want it to be exactly the right height, because what we're trying to get this in there, and then once it's the right height, we'll be able to use that half wall that we placed as kind of a placeholder for shoving this back in. That way, when we have one on the other side, we can push it in as far as it'll go, and they'll be lined up without having to mess around with anything else, and we can have these nice little walls of woodiness in there. So once you do that, we're going to do it on the other side. Again, the left-hand side, let me just ADHD fix. Oh, yeah, well, I can't. Yeah. Let's stay focused. Stay focused. Oh, my God. I can't watch this. This is the... Oh... okay, shelves, thank you. God! I do apologize. I know you guys wanted to watch a build tutorial, not someone with severe ADHD who remains unmedicated for, no reason. Trying to fucking focus. But, we're here together, so let's try to make the most of it. Once this fits in there, which it doesn't yet, and that's okay. You probably just need to play with it a little bit more and it'll slide in easier. You know what I mean? So get this a little bit closer. Get that as far over there as you can get before it pops up on top of the floor. And then you're going to be able to grab the bottom one from below the map. So move this over and then let's get below the map. The symptomatic comes in clutch. So just clutch something. Now we'll be able to grab the bottom of that. Move it over. Again, if you need to adjust or push or pull something away from you or towards you, hold down in the place button, whatever that may be, and then you can just pull with a joystick, or if you're on PC, you can just scroll with your mouse wheel. That'll move it around without you having to physically move so you don't fall off that carpet. Now I'm back up above and I'm adding a back deck to the build. As you can see, some of the walls have been wallpapered and I changed out some of the walls to the Mistress of Something set. I don't know if that's what it's called, but it's fine. We're not gonna get bogged down with what the fucking sets are called when half the time they don't even fucking. Let's just focus on the build here today and keep our heads high. So now I'm going to use this special technique of burning the shit out of something that you wanted to place a roof on, so then you have to fix it and then put the roof on it and then burn it again, It's like a really cool building hack I found. I try to find ways to make a very simple process take twice as long, and therefore the video where I show how to do it can then be twice as long. And it's better because I like wasting everyone's time, including my own. So here we are playing Fallout 76 together. Isn't that joyous? If you need to get rid of these, you will have to flatten that fucker, and then you'll be able to get rid of it. Now, if you need to adjust this, by the way, I didn't say, but this is just the same blueprint we used earlier, but with 2 half walls, and we're going to be pushing that up against the wall to create a open sliding door. If you need to move it, you will need to burn the bottom one to delete the top one, and then you can delete the bottom one. So you don't get them stuck in your camp, I wanted to show that. Because 2 half walls together will become codependent, so you'll have to just delete the bottom one, or you can delete the top one, and then you can... When I say delete, I mean just burn the fuck out of one, then you can delete the other. I'm overcomplicating a very simple explanation, as I like to do. I turned this floor sideways so I could use the floorboards to help me get the wall piece in so it wasn't crooked. And then we can just change it out to glass, of course, and we have that. And then we're going to add another one here So it kind of looks like it slid open in like a, what is that called when things slide in that way? There's a word for it. If 75 of people could please tell me in the comments section what that's called, so I know next time when I'm talking about this very specific situation that will never happen again in my life. So thank you guys so much for your input. As always, it's appreciated. This is really coming along good, except for the fact that it's not. But if you would just, let's put some of these like wall pieces in that we didn't put in yet. This half wall will be fine. You can delete stuff from under it because the roof is holding it up. So that makes sense. And then let's throw a little wall piece in there as well. Why would we not do that? Why would we not do that? All right, let's see. That's looking good. Now I want to show you one other thing I did with decoration. And that is this little weird thing. I took these cycling lights because a wire will connect to the cycling lights. And I want to like create a little hanging thing in the window. So what I did is I put it on these conduits, and I'm going to reverse merge these. If you don't know, if you place something on the camp node, it'll pop up backwards, kind of like the drop merge, but it going the other direction. So we can get this light floating in the air. We just do this a bunch. And what's happening here is we'll be able to place the conduit on the ground, and the light will be floating. And so I'm using that to create this hanging light effect. So I've already done it with 2 of them. If you feel like you went too far, what the fuck? If you feel like you went too far, you can just drop merge it back down a little bit to kind of adjust it as you want. But basically what I'm doing is the conduit is what the light's attached to. And so we can put the conduits on the ground. You can kind of hide those conduits later with some decoration. So once that's in, you can kind of push that up against the glass, get it centered in the, get it centered in the window. And then you can put one of the nipple conduits above it. And don't act like you don't know what I'm talking about. You've been there, you've done that, you've touched it. And then just attach a wire from that to that, which didn't work because this nipple conduit is too close to the window right now. So then I stared at it for 4 minutes, and then blankly, as I wiped the drool off the corner of my mouth, was able to figure out that I needed to put it out a little bit further from the wall, attach the wire, then push it back in, which I did. I spent 4 hours on that, too much time for what I achieved, but I think it had a nice effect. Now, you may be wondering how the fuck we're going to power that up without it looking like shit. Well, I think we all have heard of, you can put a generator on one of those spike traps, and when you break the spike trap, the generator is still powering stuff, but it's not there visibly. Now, this actually works with anything. You can put the generator on any item that's broken, and it won't be visible, and it'll still be powering your stuff. So what we're going to do is get this mini generator over as close as we can get to this broken wall, and we're going to have it on this conduit, and we're going to destroy the conduit. And we're going to keep the conduit destroyed. It won't be visible, and the generator won't be visible, but it'll still be powering up those lights in there. And you can use this to power your whole camp if you want. It's the same easy technique. Put your generator on a conduit. The thing about spike traps is they leave a visible remains. A conduit is invisible forever when it's broken. Until it's not broken anymore, so I guess forever was probably the wrong word to use. I apologize. I don't like using the wrong words. Sometimes it happens when you speak out your ass for half an hour without pausing or taking a break for some water. I don't need water though. I live off the simp juice that I collect in my little bathwater bin. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, but if you guys want to just pretend I'm not speaking, that'd probably be for your best benefit. Here's the finished product, though. I'm glad we fucking made it this far. If you're still watching this, thank you so much, and I do apologize. There's no refunds issued, unfortunately, but maybe we can look at the camp and pretend that this was worth our time. I think that could be something we could do together. Okay. So I'm going to jetpack up in the air for no reason, and then let's walk over to the mailbox here that I got from the scoreboard. That was worth it. And we've got the car, and all the stuff in there will sink down because there's the upper floor under the ground. And for this outer wall, if you're not sure, you can get rid of this window piece for a minute, and you can put a catwalk on the edge of the foundation like this, and a wall will snap downward from that. So that's how I did that on there. Here's a little patio area, and if you come up this way, you can see I re-wallpapered it. And let's just ring the doorbell to our own fucking house. And let's go inside and just take it in. Now, what you may have noticed is I don't know how to build modern houses. Oh, look, here's a very simple merge I did. It's just the alien stash box with the radio and 2 light boxes, and I just drop merged it, and it created this kind of cool little stereo thing. I also merged the Grafton lamp into it, and oh god, turn it off, fuck. And then I put some neon lights on the back attached to the wall, but kind of looks like it's coming out of there. I don't know, I thought it looked cool, but it really is kind of weird now that I think about it. Now that I'm looking at it again, let's just forget about it. Let's just forget about it. As you come in, you can see, of course, bitch please, very welcoming for the people coming into your house, uninvited. And let's look at the kitchen area and see. I've incorporated kind of a more retro vibe in the kitchen because I wanted it to go with the Billboard, which was kind of scratched up and had a very, that's a very like 40s or whatever art style or whatever. And so there's like these, more retro chairs at the breakfast table. And then I've used Vladministrator's idea for these handles for the cupboards. And this cabinet is sitting on the stove. So I did the exact same thing that I did with those lights, where I put it on the camp module and reverse merged it so it popped up into the air. So if I grab the stove, you'll actually see that the cabinet is it's sitting on the stove, like it's part of that stack of things. Don't freak out, I'm not going to do anything. So these are magnets. And then let's come over here to the living room. I didn't show how to do everything in this build. Like this merge, it's kind of simple though. It's just the 3 TVs drop merged into a desk, and then that's sitting on another desk. That's backwards. The video was getting very long, and I realized that not all of you hate yourself as much as I do. And there's lamps merged into these chairs to give them a nice little glow that no one's going to notice. So that's cool. Let's come over here to the bedroom where we have those hanging lights. I really like how those turned out. They kind of have an industrial but also modern feel, which is what I was going for. I kind of wanted to blend that. And this bed is another merge that I'm not going to show in this video how I made. If you guys are interested, let me know in the comments. I can add that in a future video. It was just getting to be a lot of shit that I wanted to show, and I didn't want to take up your entire day. Because you got to go kill those aliens, because we can't have meat week. Over here, I did the drop merge for this one. And as you can see, some of the stuff in here sank a little bit lower than I wanted, kind of like my expectations for this game. But I think we can if we ignore it, probably it'll just get better, I think, over time, right? Yeah, so this is a nice little, this is the actual, like, kitchen table, dining table, I guess you would call it. And then I, of course, have the back deck, and it kind of opens up the whole house to the hillside. And it makes the inside of the house, which is a very small house, feel a lot more open and a lot bigger. And then you can kind of see how the ground here is over the deck. If you look up this way, there's like this erosion here. So it makes sense that there would be a landslide a little bit over time onto that desk. Why did I say desk? That's a deck without an S in the middle of it, but I can't speak. And that's okay. Like, it's not important for what I'm doing here on YouTube. I don't need to talk. This is a poll. I used the pole blueprint. If you're not sure how to make that, I'll add a card in the top corner. You can check out the video where I show how to do that. I just took that wall out, placed the pole blueprint down, got rid of the top pole, and put the wall back in. Easy peasy. There was a little gap there I wanted to cover up, and that's how I did it. But yeah, I think this is looking pretty good. Sometimes this does get stuck open. That's not because of the design of the build. That's because Bethesda made this door. And they used everyone on their developer team to design that door. Every single person was taken to, put their resources toward that. And it was fine because... But that's fine. That's cool. It's nice knowing that we can't play Meat Week because every single person at Bethesda is working on a game that people on PlayStation won't be able to play. That's fine. That's okay, though, and it's cool. I like that a lot. Thank you so much to my patrons for your support. It will help pay for my... medical bills. If you guys are not yet subscribed, consider subscribing. It really helps the channel out. I have a Discord, and I also stream on Twitch. If you guys want to follow me there and join my Discord, the links for those will be in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And this is fine. This is fine. Everything's fine.